Visual: a lonely mountain road at night. Heavy rain. Fog covers the trees. A young man named Daniel drives an old car. Narrator: Daniel had been driving for almost 4 hours. It was nearly midnight, and there wasn't a single house, shop, or streetlight for miles. His phone had no signal. His GPS had stopped working. And then his car began to slow down. SFX. Rain, engine struggling, distant thunder. Daniel looks at the fuel gauge. Daniel, come on, not now. The car stops. Daniel steps outside. In the distance, through the fog, he sees a small house with one light glowing in the window. Narrator: that was the only house Daniel had seen all night. Visual: Daniel walks toward the old house. The wooden door is damaged. One yellow light flickers inside. He knocks. Knock. Knock. No answer. He knocks again. The door slowly opens by itself. Daniel freezes. Daniel. Hello. Silence. He steps inside. The house looks strangely clean. A fireplace burns in the living room. On the table sits a cup of hot tea. Narrator: Daniel couldn't understand it. The house looked abandoned from the outside. But someone had just made tea. Suddenly, SFX. Phone ringing. Daniel pulls out his phone. There is still no signal. Yet the phone is ringing. Unknown number. He answers. Daniel. Hello. A woman's frightened voice whispers. Woman, get out of that house. Daniel looks around. Daniel. Who is this? The woman whispers. Woman, you have exactly 10 minutes. The call ends. Visual: Daniel searches the house. He finds an old family photograph on the wall. It shows a family standing outside the same house. A father, a mother, a little girl, and Daniel. He steps backward in shock. Daniel, what the? He looks closer. The photograph appears to be decades old, but the man in the picture looks exactly like him. Suddenly, he hears footsteps upstairs. SFX, slow wooden footsteps. Daniel whispers. Daniel, is someone there? No answer. The footsteps stop. Then a child's voice comes from upstairs. Child. Daniel. Daniel's face turns pale. Child, you came back. Visual: Daniel slowly climbs the stairs. At the end of the hallway is a small bedroom. The door is slightly open. Inside is a little girl sitting on the floor. She looks about 8 years old. Daniel recognizes her from the photograph. Daniel, who are you? The girl looks up. Girl, my name is Emily. Daniel notices something strange. Emily's feet aren't touching the floor. Daniel, how do you know my name? Emily points toward an old mirror. Emily, because you've been here before. Daniel looks into the mirror. His reflection is standing behind him. But Daniel isn't. The reflection smiles. Daniel turns around. Nobody is there. He looks back at the mirror. His reflection is now much older. Blood is running down its face. SFX. Deep horror sound. Visual: Emily walks toward an old locked door. Emily, your father brought you here when you were 7. Daniel shakes his head. Daniel, my father died when I was 7. Emily slowly replies. Emily, no, he disappeared. Daniel remembers fragments from his childhood. A dark road. This house. His father's voice. Then screaming. Narrator: Daniel had spent his entire life believing his father had died. But the memories were beginning to return. Emily points at the locked door. Emily, your father is still inside. Daniel finds an old key in his pocket. He doesn't remember putting it there. He unlocks the door. Inside is a dark room. In the center sits an old chair. And sitting in that chair is Daniel's father. But he hasn't aged. His eyes slowly open. Father. Daniel. Daniel steps backward. Daniel. Dad. His father looks terrified. Father. You shouldn't have come back. Visual: the lights in the house begin flickering. The clock suddenly shows midnight. Emily starts crying. Emily. She knows you're here. Daniel. Who? A woman's voice answers from downstairs. Woman. Daniel. Daniel recognizes the voice. It is his mother. But his mother died 15 years ago. Narrator: the house had not brought Daniel here by accident. It had been waiting for him. The front door slams shut. Windows lock themselves. The fire suddenly turns blue. His father screams. Father, run. A dark figure appears at the end of the hallway. It slowly walks toward them. Daniel grabs Emily's hand. They run downstairs. Visual: Daniel and Emily run through the house. Doors slam around them. The hallway seems to become longer and longer. Daniel sees the front door. He runs toward it. Just before reaching the door, he hears his father's voice. Father. Daniel. Daniel turns around. His father is standing at the top of the stairs. Father, don't leave me again. Daniel hesitates. Emily pulls his hand. Emily, he isn't your father anymore. Daniel looks carefully. His father's face begins to change. The skin becomes pale. The eyes turn completely black. Daniel runs. He kicks the door open. Visual. Daniel wakes up beside his car. It is morning. The rain has stopped. The house is gone. There is only an empty field. Police arrive after finding Daniel unconscious beside the road. An officer asks, Officer, where did you say you stayed last night? Daniel points toward the field. Daniel, there was a house there. The officer looks confused. Officer, there hasn't been a house here for 30 years. Daniel looks down. He is still holding Emily's hand. But Emily is gone. Instead, he is holding an old photograph. He looks at it. The photograph shows the same family. Daniel, his father, his mother, and Emily. But now there is one more person in the picture. A dark figure standing behind them. Daniel turns the photograph over. Written on the back are 4 words. We are still waiting. SFX, heartbeat. The screen slowly fades to black. Narrator. Daniel never drove that road again. But every night at exactly midnight, his phone receives one call. And the caller ID always says, MOM. SFX, phone ringing. Cut to black. Indy. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. SFX. One final phone ring. Narrator whispering. Because you never know who might be waiting for you next. On screen. Subscribe for more horror stories. End.